Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I am so excited about today's video because we are going to be setting up my bullet journal theme for June of 2023. Let's get into it. So jumping right in here, the theme I decided to go with for this month is kind of like a bulletin board notes theme, I guess. I don't really know what else to call it. I am going right in and making a background grid with my gray mild liner. I chose gray because it's enough that you can see it, but it's not so much that it takes up all of the page and makes it look really busy. It fills the page without making it look too crazy. So that's what I'm doing here, just putting in that grid. I started out doing this with a ruler, and then as I go on, I stopped using the ruler because it was making my marker do weird things. So I just drew the grid around my sketches. Here I am adding in some little clouds. I decided to go with my blue mild liner for that. I used mostly mild liners for this setup. I used one other marker that wasn't a mild liner, but I really like mild liners because I think that they have a really good color selection and they're not too bright that I think they're crazy. So that's what I'm doing here, just adding in those clouds and then using my green mild liner to add some leaves and stems for flowers. I didn't fill up a ton of the page with these doodles just because I wanted to keep things still fairly minimal and simple, and I really like how that turned out. And then I used yellow for the notes and for the colors of the flowers. This color of yellow always makes me think of my daughter, and I just love it. It's so happy and bright, and I thought that would just be really nice for June, just to have a happy, bright, simple theme. So here I am adding what will be drop shadows for everything. For the actual June cover page, I just did 4 little rectangles that were yellow and then wrote June in on them. I also made just like a little Polaroid in the corner here. I erased my pencil lines before going in and adding the yellow because it's pretty hard to erase pencil when you have like underneath a yellow marker, and so I just kind of erased in there before I went in and did the yellow. And then I'm going in and doing my calendar with a Sharpie S-Gel pen. I decided not to color this whole thing in with yellow because I thought that might be too much, and I'm glad how that turned out because I think leaving it a little more minimal worked out really nicely. Moving on to the next page, I'm going in and I'm doing that same thing with the gray mild liner and just making a grid in the background. I did a 5x5 grid for this, and I have a B5 size journal, so just keep in mind if you're recreating this theme to adjust your grid to the size of your journal so that it's not so it doesn't look as wonky or anything. These 2 pages will be my habit tracker pages and then book and video related pages. So on the left side, or where my habit trackers are, I made 4 little notes to track my different habits. I am trying to track exercise, eating dinner, reading my scriptures daily, and listening to a conference talk from my church leaders daily. I like to do this just because I feel like when I start my day that way, it helps me feel happier and more connected, and I just really enjoy doing that. In the past, I have made my habit tracker for exercise be every day of the month, and guess who does not exercise that much? Me. I hardly ever exercise. I really don't enjoy exercising, but I am trying to get better at it and overall be healthier, and so what I decided to do for this month was track for 15 out of the 30 days. So for 15 days of this month, I want to exercise. I don't have to be all in a row, but I thought that would be a more realistic goal for me. And then on the right side, I will have a June TBR. That means to be read, if you didn't know. And then a spot for my June video plans. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also put in this little Polaroid for my favorite book in June. That way I can just choose one book and write it in there, and it will be like it's a little picture of my favorite book. I totally forgot I did that, but what a cute idea. My yellow marker was starting to give up on me at this point, and so I had to kind of reduce the amount of yellow I was using, which is disappointing, but maybe I can find a yellow that's similar. I just went in and added drop shadows because I realized I forgot. I think the drop shadows on top of this gray grid background are what really makes it look like they're notes on a bulletin or notes on a page. And you can't go wrong with a good drop shadow. This will be my first weekly. Again, I'm just going in with that gray grid in my background, and then I made a note or a Polaroid type looking thing for each day of the week. And the past couple months I've been doing tabs. I've been cutting tabs, but I decided to just kind of go back to basics and do one just normal page. I think switching it up in your bullet journal every once in a while can be a really good thing to keep things fresh and keep your creativity flowing and not get bored of your journal and still want to use it every day or weekly or however you like to use your journal. Just changing things every once in a while, I think, is a good idea. Again, I'm just going in and adding those same doodles that I have been on the past couple of pages. The clouds, the little leaves, and the flowers. I think they're really cute, and I think that it's an easy way to add decoration to a page without it feeling like you have to make a whole masterpiece. I did decide to add Sunday to this. Usually I don't really write Sundays in my weeklies just because usually the only thing I do is church. But I just decided to add it because I felt like it would make the page a little more balanced. And I just made it smaller and made it look like a Polaroid because, again, I'm not going to really have to write too many things in there, but I think that it is nice to have it in there. And I think that particular Sunday for this first weekly will actually be a little bit busy. We have a lot of things going on with family that day, so it will be good to write some things down. And then in that left corner there, I just made a little yellow box to write the dates, June 4th through 10th. I actually forgot to do it right here, but you'll see when I do my final flip through that I added it. So that is the setup. I hope you enjoyed this. I really love how this one turned out, and I'm excited to continue to create my weeklies throughout the month. See you next time.